Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching or listening to this, and welcome to this week's episode of the Non-Identity Podcast. Now, this week we're joined by someone who's very special to the show because he was our first ever guest, and now he's creating another first because he's the first person to return. It's Mr. Matt Power. Hi, Matt. Welcome back.
How's it going, Lee? You all right, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. For those of you who really didn't watch the first episode, could you just give everyone a quick rundown of who you are and a bit about your story?
My name's Matt. I was in the combat game for about 15 years. MMA boxing, Muay Thai boxing, I forgot then, and K1.
Since leaving the sport, you've come across some health issues, which is bringing you on to your next project because you want to go out and help support and motivate others. Are you okay to go into what's been going on since you left the world of combat sport?
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. Like, it's very complex. You're still undergoing investigations and stuff, but they have found some brain damage, like fibromyalgia, small vessels disease, which is early stages of dementia, and yeah, there's some arthritis, little bits here and there. But yeah, we're still undergoing investigations and stuff at the minute. But that's for sure. We know we've got them.
And those type of things, was that brought on from your time as being a competitor in the combat world?
They haven't really said, to be honest. It was more. It's the case of we're not sure. Obviously, it hasn't helped.
Yeah, being hit in the head every night.
Yeah, you're getting smacked in the face. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's more the case of it sure hasn't helped. If it ain't done it, it ain't helped it. Yeah, but obviously with my dyspraxia as well, there has been a certain amount of damage there. Well, since I was about 6, so all my life really. So yeah, it's just it is like it's tough. It ain't easy, but it's all like we're doing all right. We're doing all right. We're doing well.
You just mentioned there about being dyspraxic, as you're aware, I'm dyspraxic as well. Can you let people know the challenges you face throughout your life having dyspraxia?
Well, in the old days, they used to call it clumsy syndrome. So, like, your hand-eye coordination, believe it or not, when you're dyspraxic, is quite weak. Which obviously led me to trials and tribulations in the combat world, because obviously your hand-eye coordination is fairly important, to say the least. So it's hand-eye coordination. You're clumsy, always hurting something, and it just makes things a little bit more harder, a little bit, or work things a little bit longer.
Yeah, I remember just us going to a boxing event one night and us trying to manage the stairs at the train station was a bit like watching the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to get around, but it's got to make you work an extra 10 times harder for it. So if you want it more, then you've got to work for it.
And do you find, because of being dyspraxic, that, like you said, you've got to work harder for things like that, but it helps you solve problems sort of outside the box because you have to find a different route to come out with the same outcome?
Yeah, like it has got me in a few bits of trouble, to be honest, thinking like that, like thinking out of the box. Yeah, it just takes you longer, Lee. It takes you longer to get where you want to be. Like, even with things today, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm learning new different things. I'll touch on later, and yeah, it's more the case of learning, and if you want it enough, then you'll learn for it. You'll learn it. You'll get there.
Yeah, and then last time we spoke to you, all those episodes ago, you was just leaving the combat world. Obviously, your health condition came on since then. Did that leave you feeling angry and bitter towards the sport?
I wouldn't say angry and bitter. I would say more down. I was a bit like in denial. That's it, in denial. I was in denial. Like even down to today. Like I'm always having a constant battle of my brain says I can, but my body says I can't.
Exactly.
Like it's very tough. It's very tough when you believe you can, but your body's just it ain't letting you. Do you know what I mean? Like it's tough.
So how do you get through those sort of down days? Because it'd be easy just to lay in bed all day and let the world pass you by. But you're getting up, you're getting on with things. You've got a new project coming up, which we're going to speak about in a minute.
I did go through a stage of giving up, laying in bed. And it's just the more I was laying there, the more deeper down that dark hole you go down, and you start feeling sorry for yourself. You start getting down. It's and it was only probably about a month ago I started coming out the other side of that, and like, no, I'm going. I'm gonna do this. All right. I can't do the things I used to do, but let's find something I want to do or I can do. Do you know what I mean? Like it's very much like you just can't give up. You just can't give up. Like especially with an illness, if you give up, then your body is just going to take over. Your brain is just going to take over, and that's when things start going like severely wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like yes, it's really it was tough. It was tough.
And do you feel like because you're an ex-fighter, that mentality helps you through this? Because obviously, in a fight, if you get knocked down or you're behind, you've got to dig deep and get yourself out of that situation.
At first, no. At first, no. It was it was more the case of that's it. I'm done. I think I'm no one now. I'm no one now. And and I met someone pretty special, and I've met two special people since the last time you've been on, and and yeah, it was a bit of a surprise with one of them. So I my cousin knows a barber's in Rayleigh, in Essex, and I was in a lot of pain. This was when before all medication was starting, and I was in a lot of pain, and I was on walking sticks, and my cousin went, "Do you want a haircut, Matt?" I was like, "Yeah, go on in." So I went up, and I was sitting there. So I'm sitting there in the barber's chair, and he turned me around, and it was the one and only Connor Ben. And he was like, "Is your name Matt?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Hello, Matt. My name's Connor." And we was talking. He went, "Are you hungry?" And I went, "A little bit." He went, "Come on, we go and get some lunch." I was sat there speaking to him all afternoon. It was epic. It was so good. Like, and that gave me a little bit of fire in the stomach. You know, he signed some gloves for me and things like that, and I've got them up in it on the wall. And yeah, like every time I'm feeling a bit rubbish, I look at that and keep it firing. Do you know what I mean? Just keep it going.
I think that's the thing about famous personalities. I don't realise sometimes how much just a conversation with someone can get them going. People in general, really, if you've got a good vibe about you can bring someone up when they're feeling down.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, I've recently got a missus since the last time we've been on. I've got a missus and everything. Mate, she's amazing. She's well supportive. Do you know what I mean? Like, she does. Even today, she's pushed me. I ain't had a particularly great day today, but she's been there. She's pushed me on, and there's no harm in that as well. There is no harm in that. There's no harm on going, I need a bit of help. Do you know what I mean? I need a hand.
And do you think that's sort of the bit that was missing? Because, like, again, in the combat world, you're sort of in that ring on your own, where now you sort of face a different fight. It's about having good people around you.
I believe that. Believe me, they're very far and few between. There's not many people that you can go, they've got me. But when you do find them, you don't let go.
Exactly. And as we said earlier on, you're venturing into a new project. Do you want to tell people what that is and what you're aiming to do?
Well, there's a couple of things I'm working on. To be fair, like I wanna go into motivational speaking. Obviously, getting through things with dyspraxia. Yeah, okay, it is. I went through a combat world, but you can take a lot of things out of life with that. Like it's all about keeping that drive, keeping that focus. Anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. If I can do it, in excuse my language, you can do it. Do you know what I mean? Anyone can do it. Like, and it's just passing that message on. And especially lately, there's been a lot of knife crime and stuff. Like, put the knives down and get the gloves on. Do you know? And like that's one of the biggest things I wanna say out there. Is it totally changed my life? The combat, like MMA, boxing, all the combat world has totally changed my life. I was a quiet little geek sitting in the corner. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say boo to a goose, I'd run away. But boxing and combat give me that confidence. Give me that confidence. It gave me discipline. It gave me good stress release. It's not, people have got to look beyond the danger of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's actually is there's more pros than cons. There is more pros and cons in it, and that's coming from me, who's got brain damage and whatever. There is more pros and cons.
Did it also teach you respect? Because obviously you're getting in a ring with someone and you want to hurt each other, but at the end of it, you see a lot of times people are shaking hands and
Yeah, like it's very that side's really weird to me. I couldn't get used to that. Like, it's not. It was nothing. There was nothing ever personal. There was nothing ever personal. Like, there was. It was. It was literally. There was two men. It was either me or him. It ain't gonna be me. That's what it was. Everything was cool afterwards. Everything was fine. There's not been one fight where there was a bit naughty after. Never. Shook hands. He had a beer. Obviously I didn't. But yeah, it's like that's all it was. That's all
I
it
do.
was. Like, it is respect. You do get taught respect.
I do think that's why like life crime is on the rise at the moment because there is no respect between people anymore, and it is. Let's just go
But
out there with knives in our pockets, and if you upset me, I'm just gonna shake
I
you or stab you.
I honestly believe there's two things. There's no common sense in the world, and there is no respect. Now, there's they both roll into two. Like, they both roll into each other. Like, if you've got common sense and you'll be like, right, well, no, they respect. What have they done to me? Oh, what? You're from a different postcode? Okay, I'm gonna juke you. No, you know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with showing a bit of love and respect?
Exactly.
What's because I'll tell you what, even like it's it takes 20 times less muscles to smile than frown.
Exactly.
So why frown? Smile.
Totally agree. And with you wanting to go into motivational speaking, obviously with your trials and tribulations, what do you think you could bring to help support and motivate others?
Just to listen to my story and let let it relate to you. Let it relate because it will relate. It will relate in all walks of life. It ain't got to be fighting. It ain't got to be boxing. It ain't got. It's everything with all kinds of life. You can just relate to it through that. If I just help one person, I'll be happy.
Exactly.
Like that's that's the biggest thing I want is just to help that one person who's struggling and on their knees. Through my story, I'm giving them a hand up. Do you know what I mean? Like it's we all get there, we all go there, we all go on our knees, but it's all about how you're getting up.
No, exactly. And if people watching or listening want to reach out to you, how can they get hold of you?
So I haven't got Facebook anymore. Um, Another story. So I think it's power mbp underscore 88. I think I can't remember my username. Um, or limitless underscore power underscore boxing.
And what we'll
Um,
do, we'll chuck the links in the description so people can get to you. We
cool.
can like that. Well, Matt, we're coming to the end, and it's always lovely catching up with you and stuff. And now, because you're a returning guest, I've got to change my last question. So this is a question that you're the only person that's going to answer because it's the first time I've got to use it. But if you could only be remembered for one word, what would that word be and why?
That's a good question.
I've only just thought of it about 5 minutes ago because I've got to remember. I need to do the question.
That's hard. A fighter. That's that's the word. No matter what I've gone through, what I've been through, what I'm going through, I'm always fighting on in one way or another.
Well, Matt, like I said, it's been fantastic catching up with you again. Like, I know we speak off camera and all that, but it's always nice. We haven't had to sit down like this for ages. So, thank you so much for your time. Good luck with the motivational stuff, and please, whenever you feel like it, just come back on and we'll talk some more.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate. Yeah, no, it is good. It's good to catch up. Just whoever's out there, just keep fighting on. You've got it. It's in the bag.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing easy is not worth working for.
No, that's a brilliant way to end. And Matt, thank you again so much. We'll speak soon.
I'll see you later on, boys. See you later.